Coming up on Mountain News this morning, some families here in our region get to have a magical time out while on the trail. And the Black Gold Festival is just one day away from returning to the streets of downtown Hazard, giving us something to look forward to in these hard times.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News this morning.
Time is just about 5:32. I'm Keaton Hall. Dakota Makers is off this morning, but we still have Brandon Robinson, so let's take a look at the weather. Brandon?
So far, so good, Keaton. And compared to yesterday, it was chilly yesterday morning. It was in the 40s in some areas, but this morning still chilly. But the fog has helped insulate us just a little bit there this morning, and it is thick and dense in some areas. Let's take a look. A lot of areas, actually, you see a lot of ones and zeros showing up on this map. So anything less than 5 miles is dense fog this morning. It's a lot of the area. Pikeville, seeing some fog over there near the intersection of US 119, US 23 near Pikeville Commons, right across the street there. So we're going to continue to watch that. A couple of different shopping centers over there, actually. So again, 51 is the coldest spot in the region as of right now. 52 in Wise, or 51 in Clintwood, I'm sorry, and then 52 in Wise. Everybody else is in the low to mid to upper 50s, depending on where you are. Across the state and region, 65 in Louisville is the hot spot. 58 across the river in Cincinnati, 53 Paducah, 60 Nashville, 61 Knoxville, 55 in the Tri-Cities. Heading up to the 70s by lunchtime. It's a slow climb today, but that's okay. We'll take it. And temperatures will top out in the upper 70s this afternoon for another nice, pleasant day out there across our region. Keaton?
Police are now searching for the person of interest in connection to a death investigation in Lee County. Kentucky State Police is asking for help finding 33-year-old Logan Reed of Richmond. Officials say Reed is believed to be armed and dangerous. He's wanted in connection to human remains of a woman identified as 52-year-old Tamika L. McDaniel, found in a burned building back on September 7th on Kentucky Route 52. Anyone with information on Reed's location is asked to contact KSP Post 7. 2 people in Knox County are behind bars for charges of attempted murder. Knox County Sheriff's deputies arrested William Hubbard of Barberville and Alice Honeycutt of Flat Lake after they say the duo blocked a man in his car on Kentucky Highway 223. Officers say the pair then hit the man in the head, quote, multiple times with brass knuckles. Deputies say the pair then pulled a knife on the man and told him he was going to be killed. Both of them are facing numerous charges and were taken to the Knox County Detention Center. The victim was taken to a hospital and his condition is currently unknown. Kentucky State Police troopers from Post 11 arrested a man in connection with an armed robbery in Rockcastle County on January 31st. Troopers say Woodrow Lamb of Mount Vernon reportedly entered a home on Reverend Green Loop Road and shot a man. Police say he then left the scene. Lamb is facing numerous charges, including first-degree robbery and first-degree assault. He was taken to the Rockcastle County Detention Center. Patients at Kentucky's Children's Hospital received a gift from Kentucky State Police. Troopers were there yesterday to deliver KSP's teddy bears. All troopers have the bears to give to kids who've been in a bad crash or who may be victims in an investigation. Officials say the bears are used to help put a smile on children's faces and show their support.
You know, that's just a really great way to break that barrier, just to hand them that trooper teddy bear and just love on them a little bit and let them know, hey, we're here to help. We want to make sure that this doesn't happen again, or if there's anything we can do to help you, we want to make this situation better.
The Trooper Teddy Bear program started in 1989. Now the bears are given out, but they're also for sale through the KSP. Well, it was a magical time in Pike County Tuesday evening. The Pike County Libraries held its first event at Pikeville's Story Trail in the form of a fairy tea party, which invited parents and children in the area to come out, read a story, meet the Fairy Queen, and have a cup of tea. Program coordinator Maggie Salisbury says while this was the first event for the trail, there are many more planned in the months to come.
We're thrilled that this is our first big event at the Story Trail. We've got some more fun stuff coming up for Halloween and Christmas. In December, we'll have a Christmas story and we'll have Santa at the end of the trail, and we'll have hot chocolate halfway through.
Salisbury says you can read the fairy tale on the trail at any time, and you can check out the Pike County Library's Facebook page for more info on upcoming events. The Mountain Arts Center and Big Sandy Technical and Community College are partnering with a new program for music fans. Deconstructing the Beatles, a presentation by self-proclaimed Beatleologist Scott Fryman will visit Prestonsburg Big Sandy campus, filling the Gerhardt Auditorium with an analysis of the Beatles album Rubber Soul. Organizers say it's a new kind of event that ties together education and entertainment.
The first time anything like that's ever been produced here in Eastern Kentucky, and we want to gear it towards American history and music history. I mean, we're promoting it to the colleges and the high school history of rock and roll classes and the music programs.
The show is Thursday at 7 p.m. and tickets are available now at macarts.com. Students can secure a spot for $15 while general tickets are $30. We're just one day away from the kickoff of the Black Gold Festival here in Hazard. As you can see here, carnival rides and other booths have already started to arrive. Those with the Hazard Fire Department ask you not to park at the Health Department or on Main Street after 5 o'clock this evening. Those areas need to be cleared of vehicles by that time. Hatfield and Mccoy Heritage Days is back on the schedule for this weekend, and descendants from both clans as well as locals are ready to celebrate. Hatfield and Mccoy Heritage Days was canceled in 2020 and 21 due to the pandemic, but family members are already on their way from across the country for a homecoming, ready to celebrate the history of the family feud and the heritage of the mountains. Pike County Tourism CVB Executive Director Tony Tackett says it's important for folks to come out and meet the descendants from both sides of the infamous feud to learn a bit about your own history.
You got to know where you're coming from to know where you're going. And knowing your bloodline, knowing the history of your ancestors, the territory you're from, makes your whole world totally different. When you know other people have struggled as you have struggled, we're really truly all one rolled up in just a beautiful community.
Hatfield and Mccoy Heritage Days kicks off at Main Street Live in downtown Pikeville on Friday at 7 p.m. That's Friday at 7 p.m. More events on Saturday and Sunday at other historic sites. Kentucky's Bourbon Trail is blazing a new path, this time by water. Tourists can now take a tour to learn how the Kentucky River played a vital role in the bourbon industry. Phil Pendleton and photojournalist Darnell Crenshaw take us to Frankfort's Buffalo Trace to get a one-of-a-kind perspective on how Kentucky's signature drink grew with the river.
Buffalo Trace Distillery, one of the world's most popular bourbon distilleries, now allows visitors to get a sneak peek and taste of a famous Kentucky export. But where would bourbon be without the Kentucky River? These waters were key in the making and transportation of the state's brown liquor.
Welcome on board the Trace of Kentucky. That's the name of this boat. Come on aboard there. Just watch your head and step, okay?
Captained by husband and wife team Nathan and Allison Deppenbrock.
We're the only bourbon tour in the nation that focuses on the waters that actually made bourbon.
Also known as the Bourbon Boat, this 2-hour waterway tour teaches visitors how distillers in the early 1800s used wooden flat bottom boats navigating what could be rough waters just to sell their product down south.
And all those distilleries had to develop really in this area because of these central arteries known as rivers.
The wooden barrels on these flat bottom boats would travel from central Kentucky to the Ohio and Mississippi rivers until it reached its destination, New Orleans. Bourbon Street, to be exact.
You're talking months, 9, 12, 18 months, maybe even longer to get all the way down to New Orleans.
Captain Deppenbrock says months of bourbon sloshing around during the travel changed its color from clear to brown, transforming its taste to a bourbon craze.
Right, bourbon history is super cloudy, confusing, kind of mixed up.
On the tour, you'll see distilleries that used to line the riverbanks.
In 1920, we lost the Hermitage Distillery. We also lost Spring Hill. It was to your left. You might even see some of the old fermentation room walls kind of hanging up there in the woods.
Some lost to Prohibition, while others were lost to Mother Nature.
About 2 miles upstream from where we just turned around is where the Old Crow Distillery, owned by Jim Beam, was sitting when it was struck by lightning.
Currently, about a dozen distillers are on or near the banks, some mixing with the hospitality industry.
That's a 3-bedroom, 2-bath Airbnb owned by Castle and Key Distillery. That building's got its own private Castle and Key bourbon tasting bar inside your rental house there.
And on a windy day like this, the smells do not go unnoticed.
Yeah. That's all that mash cooking right there.
A mix of bourbon history and boating can be an educational cocktail.
I live in Lexington, and I didn't know all this. And combining it with bourbon is a win-win situation.
A water highway called the Kentucky River gave bourbon its claim to fame, but without it,
I don't know if we would have bourbon as far as the spirit we know of today.
Captain Deppenbrock says there are 3.5 times as many bourbon barrels in the Commonwealth as there are people. Just ahead this morning, if you're a fan of the horror genre and want to earn some extra money, we've got the perfect job for you. Stay with us. That's coming up next.
It is shaping up to be another day in paradise, but our fall preview won't last forever. I'll have the latest forecast in about 3 minutes.